Hello and welcome to life and welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a great day today. This is Google Ads Training and Consulting. I am Ty Whittingham and I specialize in optimizing Google Ads accounts for businesses as well as training people how to do it themselves. And today, the thing that I'm going to teach you, we're going to talk about the Kardashev Scale. I believe I'm saying that right to the best of my knowledge, but before we do, I want to talk about this new background that I have. It's a feature available in Zoom to kind of green screen out your background. And I chose to put a Dyson sphere, which is a product of a type 2 civilization. Actually, sorry, a type 2 civilization. But we're going to get into that here in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and help you theoretically understand everything about Google Ads so that you can maximize it for yourself. So that was my introduction. First, I want to talk about what the Kardashev scale is, or what is the Kardashev scale. So the Kardashev scale, I'll post this Wikipedia link as well as a link to this YouTube video that was created by one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Isaac Arthur. He does a much better job of explaining the Kardashev scale than I do. And this video is about 35 minutes long. So if you like my videos, then hopefully you will like his videos. But a type 1 civilization here is called a planetary civilization. Make this a little larger for everyone. And hopefully you can see this. I have noticed that the quality of my, just the video quality in the background is often poor. So a type 1 civilization is us. It's a planetary civilization. We can use all of the energy available from our planet. Type 2 is a stellar civilization. They harness all of the energy from their parent star, which for us is our sun. And the most popular hypothetical concept being the Dyson sphere, which is what I have in the background. Which is a device that would encompass an entire star and transfer its energy to the planets. A type 3 civilization is called galactic civilization, which is they can control and harvest all of the energy from the stars in their galaxy. And then type 4, which is not listed here on this Wikipedia page, is a civilization that can harness the power of every star in their galaxy. Sorry, in their observable universe. So how does this relate to Google Ads? Why the heck am I talking about the Kardashev scale? First, I like to talk about stuff like this because it's abstract and I find it interesting. I don't want to be the guy that just says, hey, I'm going to teach you about Google Ads and here's how you create a campaign. You click the red plus campaign button. No, that's not what you need to know. You need to know the theory behind it and how everything works together in an ecosystem. And the most important thing that I think you can understand about Google Ads and how it relates to the Kardashev scale in our civilization is that traffic is power. The energy that is created through nuclear fusion from the sun that spews across the universe, and a very small portion of it, probably less than 1% or 1/10% of the energy generated by the sun ends up hitting our planet and is able to fuel everything that happens on a daily basis that we know about. All of the plants, which are the basic elements of life that the animals eat, and then we eat the animals. So everything comes from the sun, if you're not familiar with that. On Google Ads, the internet is powered by traffic. The only reason that the internet exists is because people like you and me are out there going through the pages and generating what's called internet traffic. Google just happens to be one of the largest traffic providers on the internet. They have two of the three largest spaces on the internet, google.com, youtube.com, and that's not even counting their mobile app, or maybe it is. But through those two properties alone, and also the Google Display Network, which has, and YouTube Video Partner Network, both of those have access to millions of different websites across the internet. And if you have not seen a Google ad, then you have not used the internet. And so internet traffic is power, because as people are browsing the internet, if they go to Google, then they go to it with a question and they want an answer. If you can be the answer to that question, if you can win that traffic, then you are the one that's going to get that customer. If they're browsing content, browsing information that is related to your business, then you definitely want to take advantage of the opportunity to place your ad alongside that content so that you can direct that traffic towards your business and win those customers in that way. But traffic is power, and power fuels life, and traffic fuels businesses. If I did not have internet traffic, then my business would not exist. I'm not in my house. I'm not in my own room here like many people. Just make videos from the room. I actually have an office, and I don't leave it much because I don't need to, because everybody comes to me. I direct the internet traffic to me. You're watching this video from wherever you are because you were directed. Your internet traffic was directed towards me, and it's fueling me. So going into the continuing the relation here, don't skip ahead. And I wrote this out so that I could have some good notes, but making the relation to Google Ads a type 1 Google Ads account. And if you're thinking critically about this and you disagree with anything that I say, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. But this breakout works conceptually for me. And it is also true based on the hundreds of different Google Ads accounts that I've seen over the past couple of years. And it definitely should be able to help you. So a type 1 Google Ads account is an ads account that uses the search network only. A type 2 account uses both the search and display network. A type 3 Google Ads account uses search, display, and video. Type 4 uses search, display, video, and discovery ads. So let me go into this a little bit. First of all, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, I didn't see shopping ads. Well, shopping ads are a type of search ad. It's just a different ad format. And if you are very, very new and very beginner, then this is what a search ad looks like. This is what a display ad on the Google Display Network will typically look like. This is what a YouTube ad on the video network looks like, the one that has the skip button. And there's also ads like the one you probably saw to get to my YouTube channel, which is called Discovery Ad, which will either go over here in this right-hand corner or on people's news feeds. And then there are true discovery ads through the Discovery Network, which is brand new, came out in beta last year and has just been announced at Google Marketing I/O as a new feature that's available to all advertisers shortly. And these are ads that are in the news feed of people's Google devices or in the Google News app of people who have non-Google devices. It also shows ads on YouTube and Gmail, in addition to the newsfeed. But most of the traffic that you're going to get from this network is going to come from the newsfeed. I just want to go into each of these briefly. And in the description, I wrote it all out. And I also have an ebook, I guess you could call it, that I wrote that's called the Google Ads Strategy Compendium, that talks much more in detail about how to utilize each of these different networks. But the search network is similar to how our civilization right now, we're a planetary civilization, and it's been estimated that we're using about 0.7 of the way towards being a 1 on the Kardashev scale, where we'd use 100% of the energy available on our planet, which means we're using about 70% in prediction. It could be more, it could be less, but we're using about 2/3 of the energy that is available from our planet. And if we have very happy lives here. We're a thriving civilization as far as we know it. And many Google Ads accounts who only use the search network, use no other type of ads than the search network, those can deliver very high quality traffic to the business that they're operating for, and deliver large amounts of new customers, and be fantastic. If you're only using the search network, that's great. I commend you for it if you've gotten that to work. But I can tell you, just like we here on this planet are limited to the amount of energy that we have access to, the search network is very limited, specifically because in order for search traffic to be generated, somebody has to go to google.com and type in some type of query in order to see these ads. If they don't go to Google and they don't type in the query, then they're not going to have a chance to see the ad. So I want you to think about, in your internet usage experience, the number of times that you go to Google and search for something and then see an ad, versus the total number of times that you're just browsing the internet and you see either a display ad on the Google Display Network or a YouTube ad, or, I mean, if you're looking at the news feed, see a discovery ad. You won't see many of those discovery ads yet because it's a new feature. But the amount of traffic and inventory that's available through the other traffic networks is just like our planet compared to the rest of the galaxy and our observable universe. It's so vast and so expansive, so massive, that you can't even comprehend it, really. So a type 2 civilization will utilize both the search network, the traffic that's available on that, as well as the display network. The display network has two primary functions. You can either use it as remarketing, just showing ads to people who have been to your website, showing ads to your existing audience, or in that manner. Or the other manner is in a prospecting method, where you are finding new customers who haven't heard of you yet. Because if you're only using search and remarketing, search and display for remarketing, then you're still only attracting the people who are coming to you through the search network. If you are placing ads, like let's say you're a running shoes company and you're placing ads on websites such as runner.com or any marathon.com. I don't even know if those are actual websites, but I'm sure if I went to them, they would be. If you're showing ads for running shoes against that type of content, that's an excellent way to bring more traffic into your site, more highly qualified traffic into your site. And the same concept applies for any other vertical, any other business. If you are trying to attract customers, just think about what your people would read, what your people would be reading, or what you would want to read prior to being ready to consider making a purchase for whatever that particular product is. And that is the best way to think about the display network, because it's hard. You can use, if you start buying traffic on the display network without knowing much about it, you can easily waste 99% of your budget, or even 100% of your budget, on completely irrelevant traffic and not get any results from it and think that it's not working. And that's like looking at our star and being in the shade and being like, oh, the sun's not hot. Well, try standing right in front of it and tell me whether or not it's hot. So type 3 is essentially the same as what I just explained, but with video, with youtube.com, as well as a handful of other sites. I don't necessarily love showing ads on, and whether or not I like to is not actually the point here. I have never seen strong performance from video traffic outside of youtube.com on the video network. There's an option that you can check to show ads outside of youtube.com. And you can definitely do that and see how it performs for you. But for the most part, I've not seen great performance from that. So we'll just talk about ads on youtube.com for right now. All those same principles apply. You can either remarket to people who have already been to your site, or you can try and find those videos that talk specifically about your product or your type of service, and then show your ads alongside those. The problem or the opportunity with the video network on Google, or any video network on the internet, is that it's exactly that. It's video, and you have to have video in order to utilize it. That's kind of like saying the next type 3 civilization uses all the power from the stars in their galaxy. Well, if we can't even get to the other stars in our galaxy, aka if we don't even have a video for our business, then how do we ever expect to harness their power? Type 4 civilization uses the discovery ad network as well. Discovery ads, the one thing that I'm going to talk about there is that you want to give people the same type of experience that they're just coming from. There's a concept where if you want to boil a frog and you throw him in a pot of boiling water, he's going to jump right out. But if you put him in a pot of lukewarm water and then turn the heat on and it slowly boils, well, then he will just stay in there and not even notice, and all of a sudden he'll be dead. That's probably a pretty gruesome example, and I don't know if I should have given that example. But when you're on these different types of networks, the search network, ads that give people the shortest path to conversion typically work very well because the person knows exactly what they want and they just want to get it. When we're talking about the display network, they are most likely on some type of news website or a website where they're researching something. So there'll be long form text content, long form blocks of text on that page. And so your landing page shouldn't just be like, hey, call me. Because if you go from a display placement to a landing page that just says, hey, call me, there's going to be a lot of confusion with the people who are clicking on your ad. And you have to provide them with more content to give them an anchor and say, hey, here's all the reasons why you should call me, or here's all the reasons why you should buy my product. The same thing goes for discovery ads in particular, because these people are coming from news articles. So if they're coming from a news article, the best thing to do is feed them another news article. If you've ever clicked on, I'm just going to go to people.com right now because I know they absolutely have native placements on here. But pretty much all these native placements are going to be one of two things. They are going to be, let's go to this article. They're either going to be a news article or a gallery. Down here. All right, well, that didn't work too well. What I wanted to do was pull up a news article and have native ads be at the bottom of the news article, but I couldn't find any good ones. And I just got blasted with these video ads, which is another reason, which is my point exactly when I say there's video ads on youtube.com and then there's video ads that you could buy on other sites. This is probably a Google ad. I don't know whether it is or not. If we look at ad choices, we can probably see whether or not this is not a Google ad. But this ad definitely does not have the same impact as an ad on youtube.com, and we'll get into that later. But the point is, the thing that I wanted to very specifically get across is that if somebody's watching a YouTube video, then they're most likely to respond to another video. If they're on a news article, they're most likely to respond to another article, and so on. So as you utilize these different traffic networks, think about the user experience, where they're coming from and where they're going, and how to create the best flow into the conversion that you want. All right. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about here is what's called the Fermi Paradox. Our civilization here on planet Earth, as of right now, it is July 18th, 2019, 10 a.m. my time. Our civilization is probably, I don't know, we could say a couple thousand years old in the respect of what recorded history, what good recorded history we have. And if we're talking about how old are we compared to our technological advances, the internet really only came about 20 years ago, and electricity only came about 100 or so years ago. And we've made it this far since in the past 100 years, where it took us thousands and thousands of years, millions of years, billions of years possibly, to get to the point that we are currently at. So if we look forward into the future and we say, oh, well, in 100,000 years, our civilization will be this advanced, and we'll have explored the rest of our galaxy and explored and figured out for certain whether or not there's life in our known observable universe. If you think about that and how far we're going to get in the not so distant future, and you know that the universe is like 14, 15 billion years old, the question resonates strongly of why aren't we able to find, or why aren't we able to see very many, or any at all? Why are there no type 2 or 3 or 4 civilizations out there that are contacting us and trying to inhabit our galaxy and take over our star and steal the power of our star for their own use? The Fermi Paradox is exactly that. And so the Fermi Paradox with Google Ads is, why don't we see more Google Ads accounts using all of these traffic networks? If they're available and you can begin using them without, they're all free to begin using. You obviously have to pay for the traffic as you are buying it. My personal belief is that the reason that we don't see more Google Ads accounts that use all of the networks opposed to just the search network is because very few accounts can ever get into what I call perpetual motion. So perpetual motion is created in your account, or perpetual energy begins to get created when you spend money on Google Ads and make more money than you spent in return. That's it. Very simple concept, but it is few and far between, very rare for a novice Google Ads user to begin using Google Ads and all of a sudden start making a profit. Google Ads has become so competitive these days that you really have to have a deeper knowledge rather than just surface knowledge of how the settings and how the structure inside the ads account itself should be set up in order to be successful, as well as it doesn't suffice to just know technically how Google Ads works now. You have to know the psychological aspect of generating a conversion. If somebody's searching, and then how do you convert them into your product? If they're browsing content on the internet, just some random news site, if they're watching random YouTube videos, how do you take that person from a would-be random moment and convert them into a customer, or at least make them take one step closer to becoming a customer? And once your Google Ads accounts hits the point to where you're generating an ROI, then the amount of money that you spend on Google Ads is calculated much differently than you are likely thinking now. If you're brand new to Google Ads, and I would say, and you heard me say, hey, spend $10,000 this month on your own Google Ads, you're going to think, okay, what's my marketing budget? Could I afford to just wipe 10 grand out of that, and would my business still exist? If you're making at least break even or profit off of that $10,000, then at the end of the day, you're net positive. And so spending $10,000 is not the question that you have. It's, could I only spend $10,000? And could I spend 15 and make the same ROI? Could I spend 20, 50, 100, a million? Just like the universe has millions, billions of stars in it that are generating energy, the internet has millions and millions of sites and billions of pages that are generating quality content, quality traffic, quality power for your business, and sending users to businesses all day long and creating new customers. So I encourage you, I'm going to stop the video there. I don't even know how long it's been, but hopefully you like this long form content. I'm going to encourage you to break out of the type 1 civilization, expand and explore into type 2, 3, and 4. utilize display ads and video ads and discovery ads in your account. But make sure that you have a good base. Make sure you start with search, get your search ads working, and as soon as you have your search ads working, that's when your account and your civilization is ready to expand and explore into other realms out there. And if you have an active Google Ads account and would like me to review it with you, I would absolutely love to do that. And the link to do so, to schedule a call with me, is in the description of this video. And if you would just like to learn more about Google Ads, I have written the Google Ads Strategy Compendium, which will also be available very, very soon. If you're watching this much in the future, other than the 18th of July, 2019, then you will likely find a link to the Google Ads Strategy Compendium, which breaks down each of the traffic networks even further than I did today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoy making them. I enjoy my quest for my next topic. And if you have any recommendations, please engage in the comments. Let me know. And as I said, if you have an active Google Ads account, then you already know what to do. But for now, I'm going to hit the close button and I'm going to end this video. So I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.